Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break and a quick exhortation for the brothers and sisters in the truth. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushua. Right? And I want to do this quick little lesson, real quick exhortation for you brothers, right, to begin to set your houses in order, right? You don't know what time the Lord has planned for you to maybe leave this earth, give up the ghost, or the time where these prophecies are going to start to kick off in a major way, right? Or anything that could happen, right? Any evil could happen on the earth. No man knows, the day nor hour or anything, nor retain the spirit. Right? No man can retain the spirit. So you never know what's going on. So what you want to do is make sure that you're getting your houses in order and teaching your wives and your children, right? Teaching them the truth, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, right? So therefore, they can continue the things that the Lord has given you. You are the head of the household. And you are the one that is supposed to equip your family with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right, to be stable in these last days. Because like I said, you never know what could fall in these last days, what evil can come upon you, right? And not only that, the Lord just may decide to take you, to the third heaven. Or he may want to ramp up the things that are happening in the world and end this thing quick. Right? So you could be possibly separated from your family, and they ought to know what to do in those times. Right? Time and chance happen to every man. Right? Let me get that real quick. The book of Ecclesiastes, right? Let me get that real quick. Salakia. Right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 10. And verse number, I'm going to start at verse number, I'm going to just start at the point. I'm going to get 12, right? It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and at the birds that are caught in the snare. So are the sons of men snared in the evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." So, you never know when something may happen. Right. So what you want to do is take the time that you were given right now to build your family up. Right. In this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right. So we got to understand that first and foremost, a husband should be teaching his wife this truth. Why is that? Because the wife is created to be a mirror image of the husband. Right. In your absence, she should be taking on everything that you do, and she should be walking in the same light that you're walking in, right? She should be able to, recite things that you've given her. She should be able to, teach the children in the house, keep things stable in your absence, man, right? The Lord says she's supposed to be your helpmate, meaning she's supposed to be that next step down from you to be able to teach those children what they need to know, right? To serve the Lord, how to serve you at the home, right? How to be respectful out in the world, respect their elders, so on and so forth, right? So she should be taking on everything that you've given her, right? And when I'm going to start off real quick in the book of 2nd Ezra, right? I'm going to start at verse 14, chapter 14, verse 10, and it says, "For the world has lost its youth, and the times have begun to wax old. For the world is divided unto 12 parts, and the 10th parts of it are already gone, and the half of the 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part." Right? And it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble and now renounce corruption. So the Lord said, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Right? You have to set your household in order, man. Give them the knowledge and the riches of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord has given, so they can pass that on if you so happen to leave, man. Right? Or you can continue to teach as generation to generation to generation if the Lord will it, and we're still here. God forbid he end this, hopefully he'll end this thing quick. But at the same time, you never know. It's on the time of the Lord. So therefore, he can keep this thing going for a while. So if you go and give up the ghost and your son or daughter grows up and then they have children and children's children, they should be able to continue to keep passing this thing on. Right? So matter of fact, let me get this real quick in the book of Proverbs, right? And I'll move on. Right? So this is an inheritance, man, that you're giving to your children. Right? And your children's children as well, man. Right? As time goes on. And your wife should be able to do this as well in your absence, right? So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse number 22. And it reads, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of sinners is laid up for the just. So that inheritance is not only just monetary gain, physical riches, right? It's a spiritual aspect to it too, right? Your wealth and your inheritance that you're leaving behind is these spiritual riches laid up for the kingdom of heaven, man. How to receive the salvation, right? How to serve the Most High, man. How to please him in these last days. How to obtain the wisdom and hold it fast until the end, man. Right? To endure these trying times that are coming. So a good man leaves an inheritance to his family, right? From his wife to his children and to his grandchildren. And his grandchildren after that, right? So that's what you want to do. And the first thing you want to do is build your wife up and have her on a solid foundation, right? She's the one that's supposed to have your back in all things. She's the one that's supposed to be able to pick up the slack when you can't. Even if you fall into a say, depression spirit, right? Or something might happen to you, right? And you got to deal with this thing on your own, because you're not always around your brothers you labor with. You're not always around the mighty men out on the highways and hedges, man, and in the spirit, right? More likely you're at home, 90% of the time, man, with your family. So how is it when you're in a predicament? Your wife don't know nothing. She can't exhort you. She can't lift you up. She don't know nothing because she don't know the precepts. You're not giving her anything, right? She's supposed to be able to pick up that slack and be able to exhort you and put you back in the spirit, man, because she is your rib, right? She's your helpmeet, right? The Lord said it's not good for you to be alone. You need somebody to help you in trying times, right? Let's get that in Genesis, man. The book of Genesis chapter 2. All right, it's the book of Genesis chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse number 18. And it reads, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. Right? So the Lord said, I'm going to make him a helpmeet for himself, man. A woman that is like unto him. A woman that's going to be able to, mirror every movement, in a righteous sense, right? Everything that you do. She can recite prayers. She can give mighty exhortation. She can teach the children, build them up, take care of the household, do all type of things, man, because she's well instructed, man, by you. And the reason why is because you are a man of your word. You're a man of action, right? You're a man that is stable in the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So therefore, she can take on everything that you give unto her, man, that you leave her to do, right? A woman like unto yourself, right? So let me get that real quick in Sirach, right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36 and verse number 25. And it says, where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. Matter of fact, Salakia. Let me jump up. Verse 24. And it says, he that getteth a wife getteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest, man. Right? So it's supposed to be a help like unto you, man. She's supposed to be exactly like you are. Right? She's supposed to be able to be out in public and they supposed to say, that's so-and-so's wife right there, man. I can tell because she walk like him. She talk like him. Right? She move exactly like he is, man. You know, her light shines exactly like his. You know, but if you're not building her up, if you're not teaching, if you're not giving her that substance, then guess what? She can easily be destroyed. And guess what? A woman that's destroyed, she don't know how to take care of the household, teach the children. Then guess what? Those things cannot be built in order. And your house can fall. Right? And reading on, it says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So you don't want to be in the house mourning, man. Right? With a wife that is not equally yoked unto you. That does not understand anything you do. She just showing up for the feast days, just thinking it's a cookout, man. Or, you know, just going on the highways and hedges just to go hang out and be outside, man. And to look pretty on the you know, sitting beside you. You know, she has to understand these things that are going on, right? And be in agreement with you, man. So the Lord said you have to dwell with your wife with wisdom, right? Let's get that real quick. In the book of 1 Peter, man. Right, the book of 1 Peter 3 and verse number 7, it says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of grace, of life, that your prayers be not hindered, right? So you want to dwell with your woman with wisdom in this thing, that you can be heirs together in the sense of receiving blessings from the Most High, man, and getting that kingdom together. You can't just be keeping that knowledge and, you know, understanding to yourself, man, and hiding it, and your wife is in her binge watching whatever TV show she is. Your kids is wilding now. They going crazy, man. That's wicked of you. And you're going to be, you know, held accountable for that, man. Right? If you out here, neglecting your family, man. The Lord said a man that does not provide for his own, he is a infidel, man. Right? He's an infidel. That's like one that does not believe. Right? So you have to provide for your own family, man. So you have to be able to, you know, equip them in the times of trouble, you know, and just allow them to be able to dwell in the house of wisdom with you, to be able to agree with you, man. Right? The Lord said, let me get this in Sirach. I don't want to paraphrase it. What am I thinking about? Let's get the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse number 14. It says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So it's nothing more worth it in the world than a mind that's instructed in the ways of the Lord. So a woman that's built up knows how to carry on the things that you lack in, man. Right? And she can equal and balance you out, man. Right? And she take care of the children and bring them up mighty. Right? And it says, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her contented mind cannot be valued. So her mind can't be valued, man. And she's built up and she got that wisdom, that understanding, man, like you. Hey, look here, man. Can't nobody gainsay, can't nobody say nothing in your absence, talking down on you, man. She pulling precepts, she rebuking, she fighting the enemy, man. Right? When you in straits between two, you don't know what's going on, man. You stressing, right? You're flipping out. You're about to crash out, man. Hey, she can shoot you some precepts. You know, she praying for you at night when you sleep, man. Doing all type of stuff, man. A mind well instructed. So much more is your children, right? Your children go to school and they know how to abstain from evilness. You know, who's the bad seeds I should not be around? What conversation should I be carrying on, man? Right? When they walk into a building, they should have that respect of their father. That know that they carry your name, so therefore they cannot, act certain ways out there, right? And when they walk in a room, they understand, hey, that's so-and-so's son right there, man. That's so-and-so's daughter right there, man. Right? Just listen to them talk. Hold a conversation with them, man. Those children are mighty. Right? The Lord said this, man. Let's stay in Sirach, man. Sirach is full of wisdom, man. Right? The Lord said this in Sirach chapter 30. Right? I'm gonna start at verse number 3. It says, "He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him." So it feels good for a man to be out, doing whatever he is, man, talking outside with his brothers, man, or at camp, holding camp or talking, or whatever it is, and then the son walk in there, man, and he got his head held high, man. He say, yeah, that's my boy right there, man. It was a brother the other day, man. We was down in Memphis, and some brothers came down, man, and joined. They had a mighty unity camp, man, and one of the young brothers, he's about 10 years old, about 8, somewhere around there, man. And one of the brothers asked him, he said, hey, man, what's your favorite precept? He's like, man, I like Sirach. He's like, no. I like John 14:15. And the brother said, what that say? He said, you know what? He pulled out the sword. He said, let's get it. Pulled it out and brought it out, man. 8 years old. Mighty. A reflection of his father, man. The average Joe, man, the average son, he don't know what's going on. He might be able to quote John 3:16, but still don't know what that is, man. Right? But when they can walk in the newness of the Spirit, man, and be in the shadow of the Almighty, great and mighty things can happen. And they know, hey, that's Joshua's son right there, man. That's his little girl. That's his wife right there, man. Because they mirror his image. And that's what you want to do, is build up, your household, man. Let's stay in Sirach, man. Let's go to chapter 10, right? The Lord says this, right? Check this out. Right, this is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So a prudent man is what? A wise man. And his government, man, is his rulership, his household. Right? And it said it is well ordered. Right? So you can have a little time to read with your family, man. Go with some precepts, man. Watch some videos, man. Right? Go to the feast days together. Celebrate together. Do all these things together. And it says, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So if you a mighty man in a household and you carrying your way in the law, statutes, and commandments, guess who gonna follow? Your wife. Guess who gonna follow after that? Your children, man. Right? So that's what we got to do in these last days, is build up our household, man. Set our houses in order, man. Right? According to the law, man. And strengthen one another. Be like our forefathers, man. Right? Like Abraham was. The Lord knew that he was going to stand up and instruct his people. That's why he picked him. Right? That's why he established his covenant with him, because he knew that he was going to do what was asked of him, right? Let's get this real quick, right? I'm going to get this one real quick, and I might get one more, right? So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, and I'm going to start at verse number 17, and it reads, and the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him, man. So he knew Abraham was going to follow after his commandments, man. He was going to do what was necessary to keep his commandments and stay in line. And therefore, he was going to instruct also his household to do those things after him. And that's how those nations begin to be blessed through him, man. It's because they kept those things that Abraham kept so long ago, man. And that's what we have to do in these last days, is to be able to teach our children, right, from our wives down to our children, to our children's children. Right, let me get this last one in the book of, right, Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse number 6. And it reads, and these words, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 4. And it says, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes, man. So these things should never depart from you. These things should be passed down from generation to generation, man. It should always be, right, an inheritance from a father to a son, to a mother to a daughter, from a grandmother to a granddaughter, a grandfather to a grandson. And it should never run out, man. It shall never run out. All these things should be in agreement in your household between the man, the woman, and the child, and so on and so forth, man. And you have to keep that and bind that up in your heart, right? So the Lord said this. I got one more in my mind real quick, right? Let's go back to Sirach. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 25, and I'm starting verse 1. And it says, in 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful, both before Yahweh and men, the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together. And that's one of the most powerful things that you can never have, is a man and a wife to agree on everything that has to do with these scriptures, lining up with the Most High God, keeping the spirit in the household, and walking in these law, statutes, and commandments, man, and maintaining righteousness throughout generations, man, right? And as well as your children, right? And I'm going to leave you with this one, right? The Spirit keep putting these precepts on my mind. I'm going to leave you with this one. This is the book of 2 John, right? This is the book of 2 John. Matter of fact, 3 John, chapter 3. And it reads, for I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. Right? But with that, I hope it was edifying. You take these precepts and apply them to your life. Keep the commandments and get your house in order. Shalom.